Five things you should know from 103.9 The Fox, brought to you by Fick Landscape Supplies. As we spring into the new season, it's time to get that driveway in shape with tons of driveway material, plus the finest topsoil, compost, and humus. Fick Landscape Supplies, 2 locations to serve you. Find out more at ficklandscapesupplies.com. Like us on Facebook. Now, let's get fickin' busy. Well, authorities in Mount Morris Township continuing to look for tips that'll lead them to the driver involved in a deadly hit and run on Sunday night. According to reports, a 26-year-old man identified as Sebastian Klein was struck in the vicinity of North Elms Road and Kelly Road just before 10:30 p.m. Vehicle that hit him kept going. It's going to be at least 27 years behind bars for a man who pleaded no contest to second-degree murder for allegedly shooting a man to death in his vehicle as it traveled along I-75 in Flint Township. Judge reportedly slapping 37-year-old Nicholas Hutzer with a penalty of 25 to 50 years, along with another 2 years for allegedly using a firearm to commit a felony. The jury in Hunter Biden's criminal trial on federal gun charges began deliberating yesterday, but did not reach a verdict following closing arguments and the prosecution's rebuttal. A verdict in that felony trial of President Biden's son could be reached as soon as today. Stanley Cup final last night. Florida Panthers beat the Edmonton Oilers 4-1 to go up 2-0. Tigers take on the Washington Nationals tonight at Comerica Park. Game time for that, 6:40 p.m. In another baseball action, the Great Lakes Loons will be in Dayton tonight to begin a series of games that'll take them through this Sunday. And to cap this one off, the holder of that lucky $842 million Powerball ticket from the New Year's Day drawing is expected to be made known today. That ticket sold at the Food Castle in Grand Blanc for a jackpot that ranks as the 5th largest Powerball jackpot and 10th largest jackpot won ever in U.S. lottery history. That's 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox. Plenty of sunshine today, warmer temperatures than we had yesterday, too, topping out around 73 with light variable winds. Cloudy conditions tonight. We expect to settle in around 55 degrees overnight. Then a lot more sunshine tomorrow and warmer still, about 83 degrees. Thursday to start off partly sunny. Rain expected to arrive in many areas by the afternoon. Should make it to about 86. Right now it is 44 in Flint and in Saginaw 45.
Classic Rock Authority.
103.9.
103.9.
The Fox. Yeah, by the way, Steph's Fox flashback coming up in about a half an hour. Another chance to win here this morning. The Foxhole Morning Show. But first, on the Fox.
There was a time in my life I thought you could actually do that with your voice. Naturally, without any artificial enhancement. Good morning. How are you? Welcome to a TikTok Tuesday on the Foxhole Morning Show with Johnny Burke, Steph Barber, and the Hellraisers, who are now here to chat with me, Hal. And we will do that for about the next hour or so on what is going to be a fine Tuesday around here. I'll tell you what. What's poppin', asks Phil. Well, the important thing, Phil, is what's poppin' with you? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We got good tunes, Big Red. You know what, Big Red? We not only have those good tunes now, but we got them around the clock. So if you download our mobile app, 103.9 The Fox mobile app, free, you got that 24/7 great classic rock music. So we do hope that you are able to do that if you haven't already. We got a lot of people who have, and they love what they hear. Absolutely. Dale, good morning from Arizona. Good to see you on this National Corn on the Cob Day. National Corn on the Cob Day underway here. Now, you may not have heard it, or maybe you did when I was talking about this at the tail end of the newscast, but it's a big day around here because we're going to find out at long last who was or were those who held the lucky ticket to win an $842 million Powerball jackpot in the drawing from New Year's Day, because we are 5.5 months in since that ticket was, numbers for that ticket were drawn, and still nobody came forward. But it's going to happen today. It's going to happen today. We're going to find out. You're in Florida. Good morning, Big Red from Florida. What part of Florida are you? We've got an awful lot of people from Florida who look in from all parts of the state, and I'd like to find out what part you cover. So certainly We're interested in that, and always the weather too. I mean, how humid is it in Florida right now? We're at the point where it's sunny, nice, but next week is when we're going to start to feel it, because next week by about Tuesday, the forecast says we're going to be in the 90s for the first time this year. We're only 9 days away from the summer season. How many folks nailed it? See, we're going to find that out later, Phil. We've always been operating under the assumption that there's one ticket holder, but then when the information was brought out yesterday that the winning ticket holder is going to be announced today, we heard the word winners. So there's, in my estimation, this is just a guess now, but I think it's pretty accurate. This is going to be not just one individual who holds this ticket, that's going to be maybe some kind of a lottery club. And that's the reason it's taken so long to get this figured out. Because usually when you have humid in North Georgia, but I'll bet it is. I do remember the only time I spent in Georgia 4 straight days, and they were all over 100 degrees, and it was humid as hell. That was in 1995. I was there for 4 days for a radio conference. Oh, unbelievable. Stayed in the hotel almost the entire time I was there. But normally when you have one of these mega jackpot prizes where it's hundreds of millions and maybe even of the billions, it's made into the billions of dollars sold. If there's one individual winner, it usually takes 2, maybe 3 months for them to come forward after they get all of their financial planning done through their financial experts. It takes a while for them to come forward. But it has never taken almost a half a year. We're talking in terms of almost a full half year. It started New Year's Day when the numbers were drawn. We're now mid-June. Why does it take that long? And I had surmised that maybe they had lost the ticket or never even realized they had it because it was stuck in a stack of papers that they never saw and threw out inadvertently. Well, now we're finding out this is probably the reason, is because there are multiple people involved and they had to get together and get all of their own legal experts individually together to compare notes and find out who is going to divide all the money, right? And how it's going to be doing. Is it going to be equal? Is it going to be somebody who gets more because they bought the ticket? Somebody else gets more because they picked the numbers? I mean, any number of reasons why this has been 5.5 months in the making. But we're going to figure it out. I'm sure they did, Ingrid, Big Red, have to talk to a lawyer, probably talk to several. I'm thinking there's a possibility that maybe if there are a lot of people in this club, they may all have their own lawyers. And they may have been fighting over this thing. So we'll find out. That's coming up today. That's going to be kind of like the big story of the day. Okay, now, Dale is attending nephew's 8th grade promotion later this afternoon. Congratulations to Kobe, class of 2028. Yeah, there you go. All right, beautiful. Outstanding. Chris from the class of 2013 there. Chris in New Mexico, looking in as always on this Tuesday morning here as we go around the live stream landscape. We're on Facebook on Mondays, TikTok on Tuesdays such as today. Tomorrow we go over to X Twitter. And then on Thursday, we'll be in the Hal Hole Saloon, which is on Instagram. And then Friday, we do our simul stream on Twitch and Facebook. Right now, here for your listening enjoyment is Johnny Burke.
Here on a Tuesday version. Tomorrow will be crazy train time again. We get all the nitwits, knotheads, and knuckleheads in the news. We gather them all up. They kind of conjugate together, birds of a feather. And we bring them to you on Wednesday mornings. And a lot of them tend to be out of Florida, so sometimes we play Fake News or Florida as a contest on Wednesday mornings as well. There is a Florida woman that was arrested after she
happy babysitting herself. 18-month-old. That's a challenge. Good luck with that.
Tomorrow. She was stealing a car from a dealership, so she called 911 and wanted to let them know so she could do it, quote, legally.
What?
Yeah, well, it's Florida. There's a lot of meth going around down there.
My goodness, I guess.
So we've got that one to go tomorrow.
Hey, good morning, Tina. You have picture today? Do you have video, or is it just audio for you?
It's crazy train morning show stuff for you. We have a lot of that, where that came from, because people are nuts. 7:10. Hey, are you
crazy too?
That's the point. Yeah, they pretty much are. And Ozzy was even smart enough to know that well in advance. Gave us the title for the show. Are you not
got it all?
As much as you want because of
go.
joint pain? This is the best time for being outdoors.
Oh, but this time it was your alarm that did not go off. It's not the live stream video, it's the alarm. Well, that happens. You're entitled to do that. May I say, though, Tina, that the fact that you're joining us here this morning is proof to me that you weren't last night's Powerball winner? Because before you got here, we were talking about the fact that we're going to have a ticket winner or winners revealed today. That $842 million jackpot, Powerball jackpot that was won in the New Year's Day drawing from our area, Grand Blanc, Michigan. We're going to finally find out who the winner or winners of that jackpot are today. However, there was another jackpot that was won last night, and it was in an individual winning ticket sold in New Jersey. Somebody in New Jersey won last night's prize. What state am I in? Michigan. We are here in the beautiful state of Michigan. Flint, Michigan, USA, to be specific, the home of the formerly crappy water.
8529, that's 810-243-8529, and the 810 area code.
Okay, shakalaka. Sleep failed or you'd be missing the stream, silver lining. Well, see, look at that. You can't sleep, so we're the ones here to put you to sleep. You give us a chance, we'll do it for you. Morning, Jen. Minnesota's here giving us all kinds of animation. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jen. Good to see you today, always. Getting coffee. Well, you need that. All right, we're going to get some coffee today. I can't live without it in the morning. All right, we'll get to the traffic in a second here. All right, Phil, nice to have you stopping by for a couple of moments here. How come haven't been posting the replays on YouTube? Because YouTube is a pain and a pill. My mom used to call them a pill. Been attempting to the last couple weeks, and for whatever reason, it has been difficult to do. I've only been able to not be able to do the entire replay, but they're giving me little pieces to put, like a 9-minute clip. That wasn't what I wanted to do up there, because what we talked about, particularly I think last Tuesday, took over 9 minutes to do. So a 9-minute clip wouldn't have sufficiently handled it. They wouldn't, for whatever reason, and who knows what the hell's going on with YouTube, because I still can't figure that out. For the first time, or maybe second time ever, I wasn't able to put the whole hour plus up there. It was just a small segment. I couldn't figure out how to fix that. So I gave up because I was busy. I had other things to do. Now, elsewhere in Arizona, where it's still hot, the entire state is proof positive is Hot Jim, who's here from Hot Jim and the Robot Army over at Amazon. Good morning from Phoenix, where the excessive heat warnings with 110 for the high today. Oh, jeez. Whoa. 110. How many days in a row is that? Over 100 in Phoenix right now? Because you guys are working on basically a streak. UV index of 8.
The faster I blow dry, the faster we can talk about how Enbridge is investing in renewable energy like wind farms.
Exactly.
Because
you guys have sufficient air conditioning where you're working?
Everyone know they're working to achieve net zero
when you are working, do you notice how hot it is out there? Is the plant a little higher temperature with the busyness that is the Robot Army?
Enbridge.
Life takes energy. Get everything for your next project today at Menards and save big money. Take on top outdoor cleaning projects with a Husqvarna.
We'll get to the traffic. That's another thing we do here. So far it's been, I've had a couple things going on, but most have cleared up. Now we've still got one thing going on.
Menards selection of Husqvarna pressure washers.
Let's see.
Menards.com and check out our entire selection of pressure washers, plus the weekly flyer and many more great deals happening now. Save big money at Menards. Traffic. 3.9 The Fox. Vehicle City traffic.
Right now, we've only got one problem that could be slowing you down if you are in Grand Blanc Township. That's along the 9200 block of Holly Road. We had a crash reported there. Freeways right now, 75, 475, 69, 23, moving along well. Same can be said for 675 and US 10. But if something pops up, you spot a crash or unusual delay at any point, we hope you'll let us know at 810-230-WRSR. That is 810-230-9777. To get your Vehicle City traffic information whenever you need it from ClassicFox.com/traffic. Be a traffic tipster right here on 103.9 The Fox.
Traffic, a service of Vic Landscape Supplies. As we spring into the new season, it's time to get that driveway in shape with tons of driveway material, plus the finest topsoil, compost, and humus. Vic Landscape Supplies has 2 locations to serve you. Find out more at VicLandscapeSupplies.com. Like them on Facebook, and now let's get thick and busy.
Okay, inside the trailers where they unload packages, it's 120. Oh, jeez. Those enclosed areas, Michael. That's why they tell you constantly to. I gotta believe that in Arizona they don't even bother, because you should know it. Common sense in Arizona would let you know that when you are out in the mode of running errands or whatever you do, where you've got to leave and you don't even really want to do this at any point, children and or animals in a car. That's got to be enormously dangerous for any of them. That's crazy. They give you, I hope that's good, what the electrolyte drinks on a regular basis. Now, do they you say they give them to them? They don't have to pay for these like out of a vending machine or what? Because that'd be wild. Morning, Sabrina. Good to see you as you join us here. So does Tony. Good morning, Tony Kappas. And Dina Long, all of you for joining us today. I appreciate the heck out of it. Thank you very much, and hope you'll stick around for more than about 5 seconds or so. Let us entertain you for a bit. This is kind of a show within a show. We're doing this behind the scenes of a live morning radio show that emanates from Flint, Michigan in the USA, where it is 7:16 a.m., and they give it to them. All right, fine. Okay, cool. In that case, you know, they're showing some form of consideration. I like that. Megan is here. Good morning, Megan, and so is Brett and Jimmy. I appreciate the heck out of seeing you guys here today on this Tuesday morning, where it is 44, I should say, in Michigan right now. Let me get an update on this, make sure that that's what it is, because I think that's what it is still. It could be like 47. Now it's up to 47 now, so we're good there. It's going to be nice today. Same thing tomorrow, and then on Thursday, 86, and maybe rain in the afternoon. However, by next week, it's going to be in the 90s. But again, next to Phoenix, Arizona, that's nice. I never think I'd say 90s is nice, but it is based on the comparison. Shakalaka's mother used to say, it's only hot between the house and the car, because you had air conditioning in both, I'm thinking. So, yeah. We're getting to that point of the year. I mean, we're only 9 days away from the official arrival of summer. And you know what that also means is we're only 9 days away from the turnaround in the days lengthening. Starting a week from this coming Thursday, the days will start to shorten. And we'll start to see a little bit less daylight. You'll barely notice it for a month or more, but we'll see a little bit less daylight as we start to head toward the Christmas season, which is when it gets to be winter. So that's what's going on. We are continuing to lengthen our days, and it's over here. It's 5:30 in the morning. It's light out, and it's still light out at 9:30 at night, which is hard to take when you got to get to bed to get up at 2 a.m. Going to bed and it's still light out, it's not a good experience. Star Wars Night at the Diamondbacks game in Phoenix, says Hot Jim. So are you going as a character?
I was just reading, you lived quite a while in the UP.
Yes.
Apparently they have the worst roads in the state of Michigan. Four of the top 10 spots for the worst roads are UP counties.
Really?
So, yeah. Menominee's number 1, Schoolcraft number 3, Delta number
In Virginia, it's only hot between the house and the car, except when it's cold. Virginia weather changes hourly, as it does in Michigan. We've had the entire 4 seasons experienced in the same day from time to time, which is one of the reasons that it's kind of cool living in Michigan. You don't have that same boring 75 and sunny every single day thing going on for you.
guy that runs our body shop over there and the mechanics.
Please do. Yes, thank you.
At Susky, because they might be able to help you out.
By taking Psycho Jacko on a walk, he gets at least 2 walks every day. Even when it's hot out, it's going to be a blast. When it's 90-some next week, it's going to be a blast taking him out.
Belsey Road is right up there.
Yeah. Belsey's always been that.
Yeah,
though.
it has, hasn't it? Yeah.
All right, so anyway, talking about Susky, they're actually Andy Susky and Jack Matsko.
Okay, now, there's a waitress don't call them waitress anymore, they call them servers. That's kind of the nice term anymore. Twin Peaks, and she's getting dressed up as Lala. Really? Is that the only one you know of that's going to dress up, though, for Star Wars Day? Is anybody going to dress up as like a Wookiee or whatever? I don't even know who the characters are. That's not the one with Captain Kirk, is it? So I'm still trying to keep those straight. All right, Copper Boy, good morning. Jason. Jason. Got another dog for you. Hang on, we'll get to that.
People's choice of the DJ on site for the show, and all the profits go to Old Newsboys of Flint and Habitat for Humanity. Andy is very involved in the Old Newsboys of Flint, as are we. We love those guys over there. So I'm going to be actually emceeing they have a banquet of some sort on Friday night. So I'm going to be out there, and then Saturday they're having this event.
Anywhere there's food, you can find Johnny Burke.
Damn straight. We'll have raffle prizes and 50-50 drawings at this event to the Team Corvette Ball.
Okay, Star Wars is Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, and Darth Vader.
Entry fee's only $20. And Jack let me in on they got their hands on a lot of great raffle prizes, like $4,000 worth. But one of them is golf.
They're basically the same thing. Between Star Trek and Star Wars, it's basically the same thing. So that's why I keep mixing them up.
Golf course where they have Mulligan's Pub. The raffle is for one of these trips up there. If you want to get involved in it, if you want to go golfing at the Crown in Traverse City, then this is a chance for you to. You can do that without even playing or being at the car show. Just go over there and buy a ticket from Jack on Saturday. So that'll all be happening. We'll talk with them a little bit later on. We're also going to have the pink team in here at 8 o'clock, talk about how much money they raised. We always have fun with them, too, and that'll be in here around 8 o'clock, how much we raised over Mother's Day weekend for breast cancer awareness and that effort. 103.9 The Fox, hello out there.
Hey, JB, this is Gary B. How you doing?
All right, Gary, what up?
I've talked to you for a few times here and there. All right, this is a good news story. Driving west, I always talk to you guys. I pull up to the rest area, so I'm doing it safe. I seen this guy had a silver van, I think it was a Mercury, and it was smoking. I knew it wasn't oil or nothing, because it was a film. He blew a water hose.
Right.
He pulled out to the exit of the parking lot area. I pulled him, asked him if he needed some help. And I gave him a ride to the MTA bus station so he could take the school children to school.
Oh, he had his kids in the car?
No. His kids are with mom, and they go to different school, but he's an MTA bus driver, and he puts them either on city buses or school buses.
Oh, he needed to get to work so he could get a bus to pick the kids up. Okay, all right.
Yep.
Oh, you're going home. From where? You're usually driving home. Where are you flying home from, Jason? Our world traveler, by the way. He's normally in Vegas. That's his headquarters. But he's all over the world.
Possibly play Triumph.
Oh, this is all buttering us up so we play a song for you. I was wondering where this is coming from. All right.
He knows that we can be bought.
What song are you talking about?
Fight the Good Fight by Triumph.
We'll see what I can do. We'll see if we can make that possible. Okay, you have a good day, and thanks for doing that.
You're very welcome. Thank you guys for being who you are also.
All right. Here now is our smile source, and it comes from Nevada, Jason's state but not city. This is from Reno. This is Blue, who's a husky/white shepherd mix. That's Blue from Reno, Nevada. That's your smile source today from the 365 Dogs calendar. There you go. That's what your dad's funeral was yesterday. Wonder what? Okay, you're in Georgia. That's what's going on, because we've been kind of heavy-hearted because of what was happening with Jason's dad just recently, and the funeral was yesterday in Georgia. So safe travels back. Again, deepest condolences to the entire family on the loss of your dad. That is a pretty dog, Hot Jim. Yeah, absolutely. Glad to see all of you folks who are joining us live today, and we hope you'll share us out to all your friends, both here on social media and just the people that are in your circle. so that you might be able to let them know that we're here and that these are a bunch of cool people who gather on a daily basis, on a regular basis, Monday through Friday, on Facebook on Mondays, TikTok Tuesdays, X, Twitter on Wednesdays, Instagram on Thursdays, and then Friday we do a simul stream, which is on both on Twitch and on Facebook. Cindy here. Good morning, Cindy. Jacko Probert. Yes, fortunately, Jacko, which is my dog, it's a Jack Russell. Mostly Jack Russell, but more and more people are thinking he's a pit mix with that Jack Russell. There's a little bit of pit in him, and his attitude might suggest that. He's very friendly to people in his circle, but there are precious few of those. I'm happier in hell to be on his side because I'm telling you what, if you are on the opposite team from him, you take a lot of grief. And he did fight a dog in the neighborhood about a week and a half or so ago. That's what Hot Jim's reference to the late hockey enforcer from the Detroit Red Wings, Bob Probert. He calls him Jacko Probert. Jacko got involved in a 5-second tussle with one of the neighborhood dogs that was not on a leash like Jacko was. And within 5 seconds, backed the dog down, even though that dog had been the aggressor. Jacko came at him and barking as he barks to the world and growls at him as he growls at the world, and end up sending that dog slinking off into the distance. Has he gotten into trouble again? That depends on what you define as trouble, because he goes out barking and growling at the world every single time we go out. He barks at everyone. We're going to try to do what we can to maybe temper that a little bit, because we're getting annoyed with that. We really don't like the idea of him barking at everybody just because they exist. If they pose a threat to us, okay, that's one thing. But he's got to learn the difference between a potential threat and somebody who just wants to be his friend, which is 99% of the world wants to be his friend, but he won't let them. He came here as a stray dog. He came here as a rescue animal with no known history. Don't know if he spent his entire life fighting and having to be this kind of a tough little guy to the world. But we're trying to change that so that he becomes a little bit more friendly to most people. Makes it a little easier to deal with. Tina is now back. She's busy. She's being on call like all the time. Jacko has trust and confidence issues. You might say that. What I tend to think it is, and I've always believed this about a rescue animal, is that they realize when they're getting a second chance. And they are even more appreciative of their home than even the purebreds and those who are in their first home ever, who are incredibly grateful to start with, but I think a rescue is even more so, because they realize the bad life that they lived and the fact that they get another chance at a good one. They can sense that.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday go like this: 78, 79, 88, 94. All under sunny skies. I'm loving it. Steph's dreading it. Hal's just complaining about it on 103.9 The Fox.
That's right. That's right. 80 is pushing it. 90 is out of the question when we're talking about heat. Absolutely. Have we tried training? A little by little, yes. There's certain things I'm doing with him, but training per se just takes a lot of time, and there is only a limited amount of time we have to do that with him. Considering we have absolutely no idea how old he is. That's another thing that's completely a mystery about him. We think 3, 4 maybe. Not a puppy, but he's not elderly. He's not an older dog. He's still got that youthful energy, and so he is trainable, but it would be a while before he would be trained to the level of being so behavior correct that it would be very comfortable to take him around. I will never allow him off a leash. He's the only dog that I've ever had that I will not allow off a leash at any time, because even if he goes out in the backyard for a small bathroom break out in the yard, he takes very few of those in the yard. We got to take him on the road for that. He can be easily distracted by any person or dog that's coming through the neighborhood, and therefore would take off after them. And if he did, and he wasn't on a leash, I'd have issues. So that's why we do it that way. As far as training is concerned, one thing that has happened that he's gotten a little better at is that when you've been binge watching Cesar Millan. You know, I've seen a lot of his, that's the dog whisperer, for those who don't know his name. He has been incredibly successful with a lot of dogs, but I also know other trainers who don't believe in his methods. This is the thing that's also very tricky, is figuring out which training methods are going to work for your particular individual animal and which ones really are better off left to the philosophies of somebody who's got a different style. And you have to kind of meld those, because I don't think that everything that Cesar Millan does works to the point where I'd like, but then there are other trainers who have methods that he doesn't agree with that maybe his work better than. So it's hard to figure that out. That's another thing about training. What methods do you use for your dog? I do know there was another, she was a British young lady who used to have a show on, I think it was on, I don't know, it was the Discovery Channel or one of, it might have been Animal Planet. That used to say, the name of the show was It's Me or the Dog. I used to love that one. That was a kind of, and she was one of those who doesn't necessarily agree with the Dog Whisperer, all of his philosophies. She has a little bit softer way of training animals, and I've seen it. But the thing is, they both get results in how they handle it. But I'd like to know where he comes from as far as background, and that's something I probably will never find out. Tina says somebody is mean. Who is mean? Who is mean? Tina, who's mean? Jay Gibson, good morning to you. One thing where he is a little bit better than he was a year ago, which is when we got him, it was back a year ago, March. So we've been working with him little by little. He's coming around and doing some things that he wasn't doing before. And one of those things is that when we go up to the mall, there's a mall that we go to up here and walk him in the mornings. It's a mile around this route that we take. And occasionally he will want to bark at anybody he sees semi-close. He used to bark at everybody, period. Even if they were 1,000 feet away from him, he would bark at them, consider them a threat. He no longer does it that way. If they're a distance away, he'll look at him, but he won't bark anymore. So progress is being made. It's baby steps. Oh, Cesar Millan. Tina thinks he's mean, which is possible. I know in some techniques he could be. Yes.
Yeah, but you know what? Every year we get the child left in a hot car story.
Right.
Every year.
Yep.
Every year we get a dog or six left in hot cars.
And those two are, to me, I
should
guess
be completely unnecessary.
it should be on the one hand, although you have to have some sympathy. The problem is it's quite often happens to somebody who's not used to taking a kid with them. Dogs, on the other hand, people just mistreat them.
Yeah, they do. Yes,
happens
they
all
do.
the time. But with children, it's usually we forgot, and it's because Dad doesn't always drive them
Right.
to daycare, or Grandma doesn't usually take them to the store.
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah.
And that is just horrifying and heartbreaking. But yeah, there is. There's a new law. You have a back seat alarm now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, and it's being put in all the cars. And I don't know if it's in every state or if it's federal or whatever, but
Yeah, I have one of those in the car that I have right now, and since Jacko spends his entire drive when he's with me bouncing back and forth between the front and back seat, every time we stop, turn the car off, I get this little warning about checking the back seat because he's been back there. It's usually designed to say, okay, you've got a kid back there, you've got a dog back there, you've got groceries back there. In our case here, there's nothing. But because he bounced back and forth there, that alarm always goes off.
I never drive a car new enough for that feature, but I think it's a great idea.
eventually the used cars will have it now because
Right.
they've been doing this for a couple of years now. So
Yeah, I'll just come see you and you can find me
there
a
you
car
go.
like
Yeah.
that.
Where would you do that?
Susky.
Oh, thank you for the plug.
Right on the price, right off the freeway.
Thank you. The
989 Big JB 11.
when Andy comes in here, we'll once again ask him why it said right on the price and right on the freeway.
Some people think it's right at the flashlight on the freeway.
Yeah, I know that was. That was it. It's a great jingle because it sticks in everybody's head.
It does. It
It's been one of
does.
those forever jingles for this area.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I had not heard the thing about the flashlight, and that's a new interpretation.
yeah, talk about misheard lyrics.
Yeah.
734.
From Linden Mill to the Hammerberg Rock, this is Flint on 101.9 Fox.
Steph's Fox Flashback is next.
All right, they're going to do Steph's Fox flashback in a couple seconds here. So we'll get to that and see what's going on here with the traffic before we do anything else. Yeah. Welcome to all who have you have never heard of a backseat alarm. That's something that's being included on the newer model cars. I had a 20 vehicle. I got a 24 now, but when I had a 20, the last one I had before this one was kind of, I think, the start of the years that they started doing that, and that's becoming a standard feature on the newer models. Much like the back cameras, the rear view cameras, so that you can, the backup cameras, so that you don't bang into somebody in a shopping cart while you're trying to pull out of the Walmart parking lot, for example, which is another very valuable addition. In fact, now, since I've been using that, I frankly don't know how I survived without it. How I didn't crash into people while having to manually turn around and look when I was moving backward. But that's the new thing, is they're making it pretty much a standard piece of equipment now to have a backseat alarm, just so that you don't forget to check the back seat when you leave the car, whether or not there might be a kid in a car seat back there, or maybe even a small pet that you might be leaving back there, because there have been so many unfortunate occurrences by people who forgot. As tragedies happen, technology tries to keep up and make sure that it doesn't continue to happen.
The ACE Awards honors those who best exemplify attitude, community focus, and excellence. Today we would like to honor Heather Holloway, EMT at Patriot Ambulance Service. Heather was nominated by her peers for her contagious smile and positive attitude.
Oh, Michael's here. Good morning, Michael. If you have a heavy bag in your front passenger seat, passenger seatbelt alarm goes off and you have to buckle it. Really? Really? You know, any alarm can be valuable. It might be annoying, but it can be valuable. Another difference in the vehicle I have now versus the one that I did have, if you didn't buckle your seatbelt, there would be an alarm, a little bell that would continually ring, but it would only ring for maybe a half a minute, and then it would shut off. Whether or not you were buckled in, that alarm would shut off. The vehicle I have now, if you don't buckle your seatbelt, that alarm, that bell keeps going until you buckle it. It will never stop until you buckle. So if you don't want to buckle up, get ready to be annoyed by that bell for as long as you're driving, because it will sound until you buckle. But that's on the newer vehicles. Now your friend buckles a seatbelt and then gets in the car unless his granddaughter is in the car.
Services. Home improvement and rain gutter solutions you can count on since 1993. C&M Seamless Services offers home improvement solutions to give your home the look and feel you desire, providing reliable, affordable services that you can count on. They handle rain gutter and offer leaf gutter protection.
You know, we do have a thing in Michigan where certain times of the year, it's usually happening around the holidays and stuff, where the police are keeping an extra eye out for people who don't buckle up, and it's like a $65 fine, or at least it was. It may have gone up since then, but at one point it was like a $65 fine if you didn't buckle in and they caught you.
Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Flint and Genesee County are hosting the annual Big Raffle fundraiser. Tickets are $20 each, and the purchase includes a free round of mini golf at Cops and Robbers in Flushing. The drawing takes place on June 21st.
I believe I see Kevro here. Good morning, Wisconsin.
First prize winner walks away with $1,000.
Kevro is like the cheesiest guy we have in the Hellraisers.
And third prize is a $250 Visa gift card. All proceeds provide direct financial support to the Big Brothers Big Sisters programs and the youth of Genesee County. For questions,
once again, welcome to all who were routed here by accident, against your will, by the folks at TikTok, who want you to see that there are other things on that app besides the stuff that shows up in your For You page, keeping you in that narrow scope of interest focus. Here we go with traffic now. Looking at a couple of problems. Grand Blanc Township, 6200 block of Woodbridge Lane. A crash just moments ago reported to us from there. And in Grand Blanc Township, elsewhere, we're still cleaning up a crash on Holly Road. The 9200 block of Holly Road will be the place. No problems at all being reported from any of the freeways. But if you're spotting something out there on the roadways, anytime, give us a call if you would. 810-230-WRSR. That is 810-230-9777. And get Vehicle City traffic information all the time, anytime from ClassicFox.com/traffic. Be a traffic tipster right here on 103.9 The Fox.
Traffic, a service of Vic Landscape Supplies. As we spring into the new season, it's time to get that driveway in shape with tons of driveway material, plus the finest topsoil, compost, and humus. Vic Landscape Supplies has 2 locations to serve you. Find out more at VicLandscapeSupplies.com. Like them on Facebook, and now let's get Vic and busy.
The Foxhole Morning Show on 103.9 The Fox. Steph's Fox Flashback.
The drum kit used by their drummer in concert cost $25,000. Now, this was back in the 1970s.
Good day, good evening, Mel Mel. Australia's here on the brink of Wednesday.
Hand engraved by a highly skilled artisan with custom designs and set with real gemstones.
Wow.
Yeah, he innovated rock drumming when he hired synth inventor Robert Moog to create and install a custom synthesizer module for each one of his drums. Excuse me.
Okay, talk amongst ourselves.
A little bit of reason there. All right, let's get into it. Thank you so much, Pam, for the email request. The drummer was Carl Palmer. The band is Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And this is From the Beginning now on the Fox.
Hey, they're also Pathfinder, that's Sly Man. Welcome, New Hampshire, to the TikTok Tuesday edition that we're doing here on what is National Corn on the Cob Day here in the United States. I don't know if it's a special day in Australia. I'm looking at I can always tell when Australia's got something special going because in the little corner of the pages, they show me something on my 365 Dogs calendar. I see nothing. So apparently it's just a run-of-the-mill, almost Wednesday, but Tuesday night in Australia today. You need a Jacko update. We were just talking about him a little bit ago. He's doing fine. He's had a couple of walks in the last couple of days that have gone real well. I reacquainted him with what turned out to be his favorite toy when he first came here a little over a year ago. He kind of, when you give him toys, he watches and plays with them for the first few minutes he gets them, but then he kind of leaves them alone. He's like some of those kids that you might see that you give a brand new toy to, and they love it for the first 10 minutes that they have it. It's kind of cool. It's new. But then they have other things that they've been playing with that they've really kind of established a relationship with, and they would rather play with than the new stuff. And so the new stuff ends up in a toy box and never gets used again. Well, that's what's gone on with him. He's got this one little, it's kind of like, it's almost like a Kong toy. It's one of those where you take, for example, a treat, let's say peanut butter, and you smear it on the inside of a little hole that's on in this particular case, it's a ball that is surrounded by a red plastic, almost like, it looks like Saturn, really. It's like the blue ball surrounded by a red tube that encircles it, and the ball has a little hole in it so that you put peanut butter in it, and then he has to work on it for an hour in order to get all the peanut butter out. When he first came here, he loved it. That was his favorite toy. But then he kind of gave away, he didn't talk about it anymore. He didn't use any anymore. So it ended up in a toy box along with about 10 other toys that he doesn't use. Well, he was acting up a little bit yesterday after being out and around and getting all excitable, and said, well, you know what? Now would be a good time to kind of reacquaint him with that toy because he loved it so much, and I think he's forgotten he even has it. So took it out, put a little peanut butter with it in it, and he spent a good half hour working on it. So I think we'll probably end up, he's going to have that again for something to do, just to kind of shut him up for a while, because he really is he's a lovable little guy, but I'm telling you what, if you have to be with him all the time on a regular basis, that stuff gets annoying, all that growling and barking that he does. Jeez. Really, really gets annoying. The neighborhood laughs at him because they think here's this little attitude-ridden dude, little alpha dog, who is barking and growling his way through the neighborhood. But the last couple days, fortunately, have been good. He hasn't run into any trouble. He hasn't had any adversaries. He makes them up in his head. When we're driving along, he'll bark at nothing. He barks at air. He just thinks there's stuff there. He's got this one Rottweiler that lives next door that every time we go by the house, whether or not the dog's outside, 95% of the time he's not, Jackal barks and growls at the house because he knows his adversary is in there. And he wants his adversary to know that he, Jacko, is the king of the neighborhood. And this, again, is a Rottweiler that he's telling us to. You know. Let me give you a good news story here that has nothing to do with dogs. Never too late to succeed. Never too late to succeed. This is a high school graduate in the state of Utah. Her name is Catherine Cole. She lives in Hannah, Utah. She was just presented with her high school diploma 8 decades after she dropped out of high school to care for her family. She's 97 years old. She has now received her high school diploma in the state of Utah. More on that.
For one of your flashback songs. Have a great weekend, Pam. She knows me very well.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, so good. And I was watching. I went deep into the Emerson, Lake and Palmer rabbit hole.
Right.
I mean, I am so into them right now. I watched a bunch of videos of them performing.
Right.
You know what I realized? What I noticed? Greg Lake chews gum through his singing, through his guitaring.
He talked about that in an interview I saw one time, and he said he had to. He wouldn't be able to get through a concert without it.
I don't know how he can sing and chew gum.
Yeah, I don't either.
Crazy.
John Lennon used to do that with the Beatles. Not during the Beatlemania days, but a little bit later on in the career, he would chew gum while Carlos Santana was chewing gum the night that I saw him in a concert. But again, he doesn't sing, but he was chewing gum the entire show.
But now that I've seen some of these videos, have you ever noticed the big Oriental carpet?
Yes.
There was one specific roadie. His only job was to roll up the carpet and keep it cleaned through the tour. It was their carpet roadie.
Yeah.
And that was something else that Greg Lake insisted on for every live show.
Do they go barefoot on stage?
No, that's the Black Crowes.
Yeah, the Black Crowes.
Yeah,
do
that's
that,
the Black Crowes,
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
So with the trivia question, again, you can send me an email, just like Pam's. I love to get them. Steph at ClassicFox.com. That works for the flashback and for the Shake and Wake song that we do right around 6:30 every morning with the trivia question. You need the phone number, 810-230-9877.
Listen up, see if you know the answer to this one.
And you've got kind of a cornucopia of gifts this morning. We have 2 tickets to see Matchbox 20 at Soaring Eagle on September 20th. We've always got great food from Jester's. And somehow we got 4 box seat tickets to see the Detroit Tigers take on the Washington Nationals. That is this Thursday. It's a 1:10.
That'd be day after tomorrow for an afternoon game, so you got to be able to go there in the afternoon. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Oh man, the weather couldn't be more perfect.
So you're going to be in great shape for that, unless we get.
Just ordered a dog toy like that for Ellie. Well, hey, I hope that works out, because anything that a dog has to work hard to get a treat is a positive, because it keeps them busy for a long time.
Keith Emerson and Greg Lake reformed ELP with a new drummer. What was his name?
Product placement for the win.
Good
Yeah.
morning, the Fox. Do you have an answer?
Yeah, is the Jefferson Starship?
It's not even the question.
I don't think you heard the question.
Sorry.
No, thank you. Good morning, the Fox. What do you think?
Was it Carson Palmer?
No, it was not.
Carson Palmer's a quarterback.
Keep it coming here.
All right, good morning, the Fox. What do you think?
Was it Carl Palmer?
No. Carl Palmer was the original drummer.
They're not hearing the question, right?
Yeah, no.
Try this again. Hold on.
Good morning, the Fox. What do you think?
Is it Cozy Powell?
It is. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, when Carl Palmer left and they reformed the group, it just so happened that Cozy Powell was that P that they needed to continue
I was going to say,
ELP.
they can use the same initials on everything. The drumsticks, everything. No problem.
Who are we talking to this morning?
This is Misty.
I'm sorry?
This is Misty.
Misty. All right. Good morning, Misty. So, did you hear your choices of prizes here?
I did.
And what do you
I'm
think?
going to take the Matchbox 20.
I kind of thought you would, Misty. Those tickets are yours, which means that we have the 4 box seats to give away some other way this morning, right?
Yes,
we'll
we're going to be playing Dead or Alive for those seats coming up in the 8 o'clock hour.
All right, Misty, you hang tight. We'll get some info off the air, but who just took you up with those tickets to see Matchbox 20?
1039 the Fox.
Perfect.
Yeah. Tina's saying they get Rocco. Rocco is their pit mix that they have. Relatively new addition to their fun in the home. Special hard toys. He destroys others. Had to get surgery. Toys and stomach. Ooh. So do you have like any of those Kongs for Rocco, which are fairly substantial? Denver had one of those, and I think Koa had one too, if I remember right. The kind that, again, it's one of those. They're really hard plastic-shaped toys that you, again, will put peanut butter or some other kind of soft treat inside the hole so that the dog has to work real hard and spend a lot of time doing it in order to be able to get satisfaction, tasty satisfaction out of a particular toy. I guess any of them would work, but for whatever, if you know, it has the same basic concept, which is putting some kind of a treat that is difficult to dig out of the hole, put it in there so that you can, the dog will spend time doing it. And that's, it just, that Jacko just seemed to glom onto this one particular one that he got in the early days of being here, and decided, well, okay, we're going to, let's resurrect that and see if he remembers that he still has this and has fun with it. And he did. Your dog doesn't really know how to dog. She just figured out bones, but doesn't do better than strip them. She's almost 15. That's curious. And you've had her for just over a year. Well, kudos for taking a senior dog, first of all, because there is a lot of value, tons of value in having a senior dog. Those are the ones that a lot of times get forgotten, and everything about them is quality. Once they have acclimated themselves to your home, they will be ultra protective also, much in the vein that Jacko is. They may not have the same outward display of that, but they're still going to be very protective, very appreciative. All right, good morning, Jeremy. Was talking about Catherine Cole. This 97-year-old woman in Utah just got her high school diploma. She dropped out of school in the 40s because she had to help take care of her family after her grandfather's death. As it turned out, she says the day that their finals were being given at the high school was the date of his funeral. So she could not take the finals, and so she was not able to graduate. Decades later, after she'd spent years working with students at this one particular school system to improve their reading skills, the school district determined that that work with the students qualified her to earn the English credit, was the only one she was missing. That's how she was able to get this diploma qualification and eventually get the diploma.
You know what? I've changed my mind. We're going to do that because we got a lot of guests coming up during the next hour and the Foxhole People Poll. So what I wanted to do is Dead or Alive earlier. So we're going to play Dead or Alive coming up next. Stand by, and you get a chance to win those tickets to the Tiger game at Comerica Park this Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. They're taking on the Washington Nationals. So you got to be able to go. And, of course, you'll be the most popular guy in the office today because everybody else will call in sick with you. So stand by. We're going to play next.
Listen to 103.9.
Okay. Special contest they're playing called Dead or Alive. Let's find out how that goes. Good morning to all of those who are here. Just now joining us, it's a live morning radio show from Flint, Michigan, USA, 103.9 The Fox with Johnny Burke and Steph Barber. They, by the way, are in a studio which is several miles to my south. I'm in my home studio, as you can probably tell. This looks a little bit different than a regular radio studio because it is. It's my basement studio. I'm able to do this without having to commute to go down there and hang out with them. It does require me going outside and coming around the side in order to come down here, so I don't go directly from the upstairs to down here in order to get here. I still have to be out in the elements for 27 steps, but I do it, and have been doing it for the last 7 years, so that we can come down here and spend an hour chatting with you guys during the music and the commercials that are played on 103.9 The Fox. Hello, Johnny B. Welcome to you. We have a Johnny B that our host goes by on occasion. I mean, not regularly, but occasionally he's called that, Johnny B, because his name is Johnny Burke. Institution in this area, the Flint-Saginaw area. Flint, Michigan, which of course is the home of the formerly crappy water. Yes, let's get past that. That's in the past now. Still working on getting that thing squared away, and people can drink the water now. Most still rather have bottled water, or it's going through a filter system, but at least it can be consumed safely now. And we are bearing down on just the time where later on this morning we're going to find out who is the winning holder of this $842 million Powerball ticket that was, well, it was actually determined the numbers for that ticket that would win were drawn on New Year's Day. The ticket has yet to be turned in. Now, it is going to be today the revealing of the winner or winners. It looks like to me there's a lottery club. We'll find out more later on today in Grand Blanc, Michigan, which is just outside of Flint.
You got a 50-50 shot at it. You win tickets to this Thursday, 1 o'clock, Comerica Park, 4 box seats, 3 rows from the outfield, halfway between third base and the home run wall. So these are great tickets, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime. And yeah, you're going to have to call in sick, but so what? You didn't want to go to work anyway. 810-230-9777. We'll keep going down the phone lines till we get a winner. Who's on line 1?
Yeah, this is Craig.
Craig, Paul Michael Glazer. He played Starsky on Starsky and Hutch. Dead or alive? Hello?
Live.
How fast can you Google while driving
Oh, I'm not.
and talking to a radio disc jockey?
I'm going to stay alive.
You say he's alive? Well, you're right.
He is?
He's 81 years old. Yeah, Starsky's still around.
I would have got that one wrong.
David Soul, who played Hutch, is dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, Starsky is still out there. Paul Michael Glazer. Your name, sir?
Greg, right?
Craig.
Craig.
All right, Craig, congratulations. You got 4 seats.
You think he was? Mel thinks he's cheating. That may have been the reason for the prolonged silence. He was trying. How fast can he Google, right?
You're going Thursday to Comerica Park. Compliments of 103.9 The Fox. Congratulations.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
You hold the line. We'll get right with you here in just a moment. It's 7:56 here in the Foxhole. We got a fun hour coming up here. We got the Foxhole People Poll, of course, but on top of that, lots of fun people are going to be stopping by here this morning. The Pink Team first, and they're going to tell us how much money was raised on their Mother's Day fundraiser for the breast cancer awareness and early breast health navigation. We're also then going to talk with Andy Susky and Jack Matsko about the upcoming 24th annual charity car show that they're having at Susky this Saturday. It's starting at 10 o'clock, presented by Team Corvette, but it's an all-car show, so all you guys with your cars can show up for that. We'll have information on that coming up this hour as well. Everybody stick around. It is 7:57, and we're going to head on over to
Time
the
for news.
now for all the real news. Here's Al Ross.
5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox, brought to you by Shea Automotive. Dive into the Shea Megalot. Get a pre-owned vehicle that's inspected and warranted. You might be surprised to get more for your trade than you ever got before. Plus, no payments for 120 days. Shea Automotive Group. See dealer for details. Well, the UN Security Council is adopting a resolution calling on Hamas to accept a hostage and ceasefire deal. The U.S. presented the resolution as part of a diplomatic effort to increase international pressure on Hamas to accept the U.S.-backed proposal. Port of Baltimore's main shipping channel fully reopened yesterday after a massive cleanup effort following the Francis Scott Key Bridge's deadly collapse. Traffic had been restricted in the busy port since the bridge collapsed and killed 6 construction workers back on March the 26th. 22-year-old man fighting for his life after reportedly falling out of a moving pickup truck overnight yesterday. Man said to have been riding as a passenger in the truck traveling near Topaz Circle and Amber Lane in Grand Blanc Township. At last word, he was in critical condition. 2K24 Kids Count report. According to the new numbers, Michigan ranks 34th in the nation, showing a 40% chronic absenteeism rate. Over 500,000 students in this state chronically absent in the 2K21-22 school year. Stanley Cup final, Florida Panthers over the Edmonton Oilers last night, 4-1 down in Florida. Panthers go up 2-0 in the series. Tigers take on the Washington Nationals tonight, 6:40 p.m. game time at Comerica Park. And to cap this one off, one ticket matched all the Powerball numbers in last night's drawing to win a $221 million jackpot, and that ticket was sold in the state of New Jersey. Excitement to come later today because of reports out of Lansing that the lucky holder of an $842 million Powerball winning ticket from New Year's Day's drawing is going to finally be revealed today. That was the ticket purchased at the Food Castle on Grand Blanc Road in Grand Blanc. That's 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox.
The Fox
Workforce weather.
Got plenty of sunshine, warm temperatures today, even warmer so than yesterday, as we top out around 73 with light and variable winds. Cloudy conditions tonight, as we're expected to settle in around 55 degrees overnight. Then a lot more sun tomorrow and warmer, about 83. Thursday starts off partly sunny, but then rain is expected to arrive in many areas by the afternoon hours. Thursday we top out at around 86. Right now 47 in Flint, and in Saginaw also 47.
From the Hurley Medical Center studio, this is the Fox Home Morning Show. Don Juarez Ottawasso.
Flint's Classic Rock Authority.
103.9.
103.9.
The Fox.
Well, all right. All right, Mel wants to know how you fall out of a truck while it's going. Any number of reasons. Because he was the passenger. Possibly pushed out. Possibly an imminent threat he was trying to escape from and thinking that he could do it by jumping out. That was the only alternative, the only option. We'll find out. Assuming that this fellow is able to make it through, was in critical condition, last word. But we'll see. The story's still to come as far as finishing that up. Who else is here this morning? Heather is. Good morning, Northern Virginia. My pal Heather is there. Welcome to you. Good to see you on the day that has been designated for any number of reasons. National Corn on the Cob Day. I'm all down with that. That's cool. Let me give you a chance to smile at this particular beautiful face from Reno, Nevada. This is a Husky and White Shepherd mix named Blue. Smile at Blue today from Reno, Nevada. Has there even been a corn harvest this year? I don't think there's been one yet. I'm just starting to see corn in the areas that I drive starting to pop up a little bit. It's going to be some months before we get all that done. But, and I don't know why, every day is something. You know, every day is some salute to something. You know, hug your accountant day. That probably is coming up at some point. But today is corn on the cob day. So enjoy if you have it. Around here, sweet corn is a big thing, but that's still a ways to go before we get it. Shaka Lakik is going to celebrate later, and that's probably a good thing. New Jersey corn comes up in July, Tina says. Still love it. Tina loves it. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Used to live, when I had the old house I was living in, which is in a more rural area, there was a guy just about, I don't know, maybe 2,000 feet up the road who had just the best sweet corn, and boy, you could tell that it was popular. It was difficult to get it. Once it came up, once he had his stand out by the curb, and it was one of those 2-lane roads, so it's one of those that, man, if you drive by it and realize, oh my gosh, there's sweet corn back there, by the time you turn around to go back, it's already gone because it was that popular. New Jersey's got the best corn and tomatoes, says Tina. You know, they've also got a $220 million lottery winner too today because of last night's Powerball jackpot. Can we see Jacko? He needs to wake up. No, he's upstairs. He's upstairs sleeping. I've never brought him down here. I don't trust him. There's a bunch of stuff you don't see down here. There's a bunch of stuff around here that he could potentially destroy if he got overly curious. He's not one of those who has that. I've had a dog in the past that could destroy stuff just with his tail inadvertently because he wagged it so much. Jacko's not one of those, but he could inadvertently go running over something, and some of it might be like glass or some kind of thing that's down here. So there's that as a problem down here. He has never been down here. Maybe one day I will bring him down here. We'll find out. But one thing we will also do is say thank you so much for your attendance and your attention and hanging out on a TikTok Tuesday. The show goes on. You can download a mobile app, 103.9 The Fox, Flint, Michigan, and you can listen to what's going on the rest of the day. And then join us again tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going over to X Twitter. That's where we take Brother Hal's traveling live streaming shows all over the map. We're on Facebook Mondays, TikTok Tuesdays, X Twitter Wednesdays, Instagram on Thursdays, and then Fridays we do a simul stream on Twitch and on Facebook. So make sure that you do a screenshot of the schedule and then join us as often as you possibly can in as many places as you possibly can to have some fun with your friends called the Hellraisers. From this place that I call and we call the Hellhole. And we'll be back here again tomorrow on X Twitter. Until then, have yourself a pleasant, peaceful, productive Tuesday. And come on back as soon as you can to see all your friends, the Hellraisers, once again, okay? Okay.
Self-navigation program and other things that are necessary and especially helpful to women who have to go through breast cancer then, of course, and don't know what to do when they get that kind of diagnosis. The first thing they do is turn to their husband or their wife or their friends and they say, what do I do now? What can I do now? And that's where this comes in this